Day, and we're just over 7 hours away from polls closing, about 7.5 hours if you still haven't made it out to vote. And you want to be informed, well, this next segment called Vote Texas Face Off might help you out. Weighing in today are Tara Pohlmeyer and Matt Mackowiak. Thank you both for joining us. Tara Pohlmeyer is the Communications Director of Progress Texas, an organization advocating for progressive ideals and policies. And then Matt Mackowiak is a political and communications consultant who is also president of Potomac Strategy Group. He served in senior roles for 2 U.S. senators and for then Governor George W. Bush. Mackowiak currently serves as chairman of the Travis County Republican Party. Thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you.
Busy day, but let's start in Texas here. The U.S. Senate race here has gotten national attention. We've known that. Beto O'Rourke trying to unseat Senator Ted Cruz. Voter turnout has broken records, but who do you think will benefit and why? Let's begin with you, Matt.
Yeah, what we've seen is definitely high turnout. We've seen it on both sides. Obviously, there are geographical disparities. There are other types of disparities. But as long as Republicans have a good day today, I'm confident Cruz is going to win by a good margin, by a solid margin. I think there's a lot of disagreement about that. There are people who think Beto's going to win. People think Cruz is going to win. Could be very, very close. Ultimately, I just think the fundamentals advantage Cruz. And Beto has run as a full-scale progressive. The state of Texas is not going to elect a full-scale progressive on the statewide level in 2018.
All right, Tara, what do you think?
I think voter turnout has been absolutely fantastic across the state, and it's really exciting to see not only people voting for the first time, but especially young voters voting for the first time. And these young voters are more likely to vote Democratic versus Republican. And so I think that will definitely benefit Beto O'Rourke, and I think he is definitely spreading a message of togetherness. He's spreading a message for all Texans, while Ted Cruz has spoken to his base during this election cycle.
All right, so a lot of eyes will be on the race for Attorney General. We have Ken Paxton trying to keep his seat despite being indicted 3 years ago on felony securities fraud charges. His opponent, Democratic challenger Justin Nelson, rolled out new attack ads this week. Is this race competitive? Let's talk to you first, Tara.
Absolutely. I think it's kind of astonishing that someone who's been indicted is allowed to run for statewide office. So I do think that Justin Nelson has spoken, especially when it comes to affordable health care access for all Texans and making sure that our Attorney General is focusing on Texans and not on attacking the federal government or anything like that. And so I do think that this race will be competitive tonight.
What are your thoughts?
Well, I don't know what she means by allowed to run. You're presumed innocent in America, and it's always been is indicted. He hasn't been convicted, and this particular trial has, or not even trial, this pre-trial phase has gone on for a very long time. So we'll see how that ultimately gets resolved. I think the Attorney General will win. I think it will be a more narrow margin than many of the other statewide races. Nelson has made his entire campaign about the indictment, really not about much else of substance. I happened to see him interviewed by Evan Smith of Texas Tribune for an hour, and about 45 minutes was about the indictment. The Attorney General does a lot more than just that. So I think it's going to be closer than the other statewide races. Nelson's had a late infusion of cash. Paxton had a late infusion. So I think there is a sense on both sides it's tightening.
We have time for one more question. In Texas's 31st congressional district, MJ Hagar is attempting to unseat incumbent John Carter. She came onto the scene with flashy, well-produced ads that went viral. And will that translate to votes? Let's start with you, Matt.
Well, I think that margin will be closer than it's been traditionally in that district. That's a fundamentally Republican district. It's Williamson County and Bell County. Bell County is very conservative. Northern Williamson is very conservative. Southern Williamson is becoming more mixed, and I think we have seen very high turnout in Southern Williamson County. So I think it's going to be a closer margin. Highly confident Carter will win. He's an institution in Williamson County going back to his days as a judge. But Hager's run a good and I think aggressive and well-funded campaign, and she deserves credit for that.
Yeah, Tara, what's your stance?
I was actually out block walking in Williamson County over the weekend, and I think that MJ Hagar really speaks to the values when it comes to accessibility here in Williamson County. And I think that Carter hasn't been available for his constituents, and MJ has really shown that she would be, and she's run a really strong campaign because of that, and we're excited to see those voters turn out.
Let's see how it all shapes up today, right?
That's right.
Thank you both for joining me. I know it's a very busy day. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Yeah.